I want to thank Headmaster Brito for that very lengthy introduction. Thank you. It doesn't matter that you call me Springer or Striker. It doesn't really matter. I think what we all know is we must know who we are. Period. It doesn't matter what anybody calls us, right? And I do want to thank Mr. Hartman, Chairman of the Board, for giving me this very special opportunity to address you. And so I bring all of you greetings from Rutgers University. We hope that all of you will want to come to Rutgers at some point, so you're getting a special invitation from me. In the meantime, class of 2011, I want you to look directly in front of you, to your right and to your left. And as you look, because as I sat there, I watched your eyes and they darted with some tears. I knew 1,000 things must have been going through your minds at that time. There was a time when I sat at that spot a long time ago. But nonetheless, as you look to your right and to your left, you see people who have loved you, who have nurtured you, who have cared for you, who made sacrifices for you, who have taught you, and who have prayed for you. These are your mothers and your fathers, your sisters and your brothers, your grandparents, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your teachers, your preachers, your families, and your friends. These are the people who you must continue to keep closest to your heart. These are the people who have the dreams and hopes that you have as you sit here. They have those same dreams and hopes, every last one of these people. So remember them always. You see, this is a family affair. Each of us that are here, this is family. So I'd like you, graduates, to stand up and give all of your family a big round of applause. See, they have a lot of pride, too. You can believe that. As soon as someone says, well, where does your child go? Well, they go to St. Philip's. And your chest swell, doesn't it? I know. This was a very difficult speech, and I thank Mr. Harvey for this. This is very difficult. And you might say, well, why? Because I have opportunities to talk to college players and sometimes college audiences. But this, without question, is the most important conversation that I can have. Because I got 10 minutes. So relax, 10 minutes. But it's like 10 minutes to try to speak to the world. Can you imagine if you had 10 minutes to speak to the world? What would you say? You sit there, you think about it. Would you like to come up and speak to the world? And then the question may be, well, we're not the world. Well, we're just 8th graders getting ready to go on to high school. Oh, you are the world. You are the world. Let me say this. Most young people in 8th grade do not understand yet the value of an education. Most people find out the importance of an education when they are graduating from high school. In many instances, too late. You see, because the decisions that you make and the things that you do, you're going to deal with the consequences of those. But by the grace of God, you have your family that has pushed you, encouraged you, nurtured you, picked you up, and told you that you're going to be somebody. It's okay. They encouraged you to get your education right from the beginning. Most people don't even have that opportunity. So as you begin that journey, that next step, you must have some things in mind. And I kept thinking, well, what do I say to you? And I want to start off by giving you a simple poem that I think speaks to everything. And I'll somewhat paraphrase it. It's by the eloquent black poet Langston Hughes. And he said, dream a multitude of dreams. And as you dream, so shall you become. For your dreams are a vision of what you shall be someday. Your dreams are a vision of what you shall be someday. And hold fast to those dreams. Hold fast to those dreams. For if they fail, they are like a broken winged bird that cannot fly. You see, the former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." You are our future. It's important that you believe in your dreams. As you sit there, some of you with tears in your eyes, some of you with braces on your teeth, lots of you with sparkling eyes with great anticipation and so much hope, and so much wonder that must be in your minds. Your bodies are growing, your voices are changing, and you have so much anticipation. Shall I go here or shall I go there? You have so many questions that must be in your mind. And yet it is the beauty of the dreams that you have in your heart that come and can become reality. You see, I remember dreaming. Oh, I dreamt. Because I was once in 8th grade, believe it or not. And I thought, I would like to be several things, and I wanted to be a track star. Oh my God, I would watch the wide world of sports, and they would have these television lights that were flickering, and I just saw myself running, and thousands of people standing up and cheering as I ran past the great audiences. And I saw Jesse Owens, and I saw Wilma Rudolph, and I saw all the great ones, and I thought, that's me. I want to be a track star. And then, you know, I remember when I was in 6th grade, I played Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Oh, and that got to me. I really felt good. I walked on stage and played this music, and I stood up and gave my little bow and curtsy. And I thought, I'll be a great pianist. And then I was one of those people who always asked, why? Why not? Why? I'll be a judge. No, I changed my mind. I will be, thought about lawyer, and I thought, no, I'll be a judge. I want to change society's views of a lot of things. All I wanted is everyone to have equality. That's all I wanted. Just wanted a chance. See, I didn't understand why girls were not seemingly thought of in the same value as guys. See, we didn't have girls' teams. They didn't have girls' uniforms. I mean, hey, what are you doing? That's why I tried out for the cheerleaders. It wasn't just something that I chose to do. I didn't want to have to stand up because as a young girl, I believe like you, that you work and you earn everything that you get in this life, and you never want anybody to hand you anything, am I right? You see, but when I tried out, I was better, and I knew that I was. But I wasn't really interested in cheerleading. I just wanted to get close enough to the football field or the basketball court to tell these guys what they needed to do. I really did. Because see, I didn't understand. Monday through Thursday, I beat them. But then on Friday, they were the ones that put on the uniforms. And it hurt me. I couldn't understand why there were no cheerleaders. I mean, why there were no Girl Scouts. They had Boy Scouts. So I put a hat on my head, and I sat there. I wanted some ice cream like everybody else. But they said, no, little stoner girl, this isn't for girls. I was always that person that asked the question, why not? So that's why I tried to try out for the cheerleading squad. And when I wasn't selected, there happened to have been a gentleman that was in the gym much like this, because everyone tried out and the place was jam-packed and the students were cheering for those people who they felt best demonstrated what it meant to be a cheerleader. And there was a gentleman by the name of Sunstill who sat underneath the bleachers. Though I didn't know it, he was a representative of the NAACP. I think he was just down there probably visiting his son to see a teacher about something with his son. But in any event, he came to my fathers to our home, and he said to my father, buddy, you got to give your daughter, let her try out, because she has the grades, and clearly she was better than everyone else. And no, I can't own up to I was just brave, because I didn't want to be put on a cheerleading squad, because I felt that somebody was giving me something. And I put the covers over my head when my father came upstairs, and he said, you know something? He said, you know what, it's time for you to make a decision. You know, you can stand up for something or fall for anything. It's not about you, but it's perhaps for future generations of young women that will come after you. You make a decision. You decide what you want to do. And I put the cover over my head, and I did not want to deal with the fact that the next day I had to decide whether or not I would allow my name to be presented. And I say that to you because what you've done is just to carry on the vision of the people who founded this school in the first place. You see, because through the Trinity Church and through St. Philip's, there were several people who had a vision and had a dream. They decided that young people like you would be given an opportunity to get an education that would allow you to go to a private, singular institution that would academically prepare you to thrive and compete with the best in the entire world. That's what their vision was. And as you sit here today, you're going to go about your various institutions. You won't all go to the same school. Oh, but all of you are prepared. The vision was that when you go to those other institutions, that you will be able to compete, and the education that you will receive will be everlasting and give you a great opportunity for the future. That's what your parents understood a long time ago. That's what the founders understood. So just as my father said to me, it's not even about you. Perhaps it's not even for you, but it's for future generations of young people who will come after you. Those little girls and little boys that were standing there, you meant everything in the world to them. You meant everything in the world to them. You'd be surprised what impact you've made. We have a responsibility, each and every one of us. I understood a long time ago that my mission in life was not just about coaching basketball. Far from it. Because when I was in that junior year of high school, when I decided to allow my name to be presented before the school board, because as Mr. Steele said, you have the grades, you are the person that should do that. What I come to find out is that, you know what, it was for future generations, because you know what? That was the first time that they'd ever had a black cheerleader. At least I found out a couple years ago, it was the second time. There had been one maybe 40 or 50 years before. But what's key is this. It was my nieces, my two nieces, that became cheerleaders in that same school. And I thought, wow, that's what they're talking about. You see, the vision and the dreams that the founders of St. Philip's have had is what is allowing you to be here today. And what we know is that as you graduate from St. Philip's, you'll continue to perpetuate because you're actually living the dream. It isn't just about you. You have a responsibility to go on and take advantage of the opportunity that you have. The education that you have has taught you how to critically think and to evaluate, to gather information and make a decision based upon fact. That's what it's done. When you go out, you're not just going to compete with the people from Newark or from New York City or from Massachusetts. You're going to compete with people from Beijing and Russia and India. This is a global society that you live in. You are truly global citizens. I can hardly say BlackBerry. I'm trying to figure out what the heck are they talking about. BlackBerry, texting, surfing. It sounds like to me like we're going somewhere, but I don't know what it is. I'm finding out. You will compete in that global world. You can dream the dreams that poet Langston Hughes talked about. Because he talked about if you let those dreams die, it's like a broken winged bird. You are different, because a lot of people dream, but the reason that I didn't become that pianist that I talked about, well, because in order to be a concert pianist, you have to have a tremendous amount of discipline. You gotta work on those scales, you gotta sit straight, you gotta go hours and hours and hours and hours. And I thought, you know what, I'm interested a lot more in jazz, so I'm gonna wanna do that. And then, that track, you see, I went to a high school track practice, and I saw all that dust and heat that got in my throat. And I thought, you mean to tell me they're doing all of this running for that one little run across the... Oh no, that's not me. I'm gonna run a track, are you kidding me? And then I thought, I was going to be the judge. I would bring equality and justice to all. I even thought that I could become the president of the United States. I didn't know at the time. I never even thought about it, that no woman had been, much less a black female. I just believe, because you know what, my parents instilled that in me, just as your parents have instilled that in you. That's what they had. Well, as it turned out, I didn't become those things, because we took a class trip, and wouldn't you know, we went to a trial. And at the end, the judge invited us into his chambers. When we went into the chambers, I looked at all those books. I said, come on, you know what, I'm not reading these books. Are you kidding me? I am not interested. Which tells you something else. Ladies, gentlemen, it's about passion. You know, you heard that thing the parents will say when you take a horse to the water and you can't make him drink, and you take a boy to the books and can't make him think or whatever, you know how that goes. Any way you shake it, we know that you're here, you're the one that's putting forth the work. And you can choose the easy way out, you see, because this society rewards very much the glitter and the gold. It's all about immediate gratification. Let's do things the easy way. Let's get over. That's what society continues to tell you. You see that each and every day. It's not about perseverance, hard work, and dedication. Because I didn't become any of those things that I talked about dreaming, because I wasn't willing to do those things. The truth of the matter is that for anything that you're going to get in life, you have to work extremely hard. You have to be dedicated, and you have to be committed. And more than that, you have to have passion. Because when you have passion, you have love. You have gotten a great start. A great start at just being here. A great start by graduating from this school. And as you go forward, let no one in this world tell you what you cannot do. Ask the questions. Give back, just as the gentleman who founded this organization gave back. Give back. Never forget where you came from. Always give back. It's not the golden rule that speaks about, you know, do unto others before they do unto you. It's about do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Remember to always remember where you came from. Remember that nothing is going to be easy. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to pay the price. You have to be dedicated. And you can never give up. You have to persevere. Nothing worthwhile is ever going to be easy. And with all the things that you have learned from your parents, and I know the teachings here at the school, it's about passion. It's about compassion. It's about empathy. If you felt the little kids that were standing there as I did, it brought me to tears, because I'm that kind of person. I don't want to coach people who I can't feel. I don't want to talk to people who I can't feel. I want to feel things. And I suspect that you do too. Far more than you can ever imagine. Your parents only want for you, just as I want for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be successful. I want you to feel what it is to be first class in all that you do. We as parents want a better life for our kids, not don't we? That's why we will do anything in this world. That's all we want. We want you to be a productive member of society that's successful, that's able to feel good about yourself, and that you're able to give back. That's all we want, and we want you to be happy. At the end of the day, we want you to be happy. So I will say to you this. In closing, we need people who care. We need people who understand that there are no shortcuts. We need people who understand that it can't be done unless it's done through you. We need people who understand that the journey is not a short one, it's a long one. And there will be many doubters. Sitting here, you might say, I'm the person who's going to have the next cure for Alzheimer's or cancer. Or I'm going to feed the world, I'm going to find another way to feed the world. No matter what you think, say it. Profess it with your tongue and believe it. But remember the one thing that I try to share with you in the little story that I gave you. You will not get any of those things unless you are willing to pay the price. Pay the price. And you have to know the price. The price is hard work, dedication, focus. Get up, knock down, get up, and believe in yourself. And whenever you doubt yourself, these people who are sitting right in front of you are here to say to you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you will. You know, no one can care for you more than the people who are standing and sitting right here in front of you. So I just want to say, you know, congratulations. This is special. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And I leave you with the last part of Langston Hughes' poem when he said, you know, dream a multitude of dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. For your dreams are a vision of what you shall be someday, and hold fast to those dreams. Because if you don't have dreams, you don't have hope. It's like a broken winged bird, but you know what I want to say to you? To you, why not be the dream? My challenge to you is to be the dream. And I look forward to seeing some of you at Rutgers University. I want to sincerely thank all of you. It was a wonderful day. Thank you.
York will now do the faculty address.
Good morning, graduates, colleagues, parents and families, ladies and gentlemen. And congratulations to the class of 2011. In preparation for speaking to you this morning, I realized how often our life events come full circle. 3 years ago, we entered the middle school together. You as sixth graders, and me as a first-year English teacher and dean. We were all probably a little nervous, not sure what to expect, and definitely eager to get the first year of middle school over with. Now, 3 years later, as eighth graders, I couldn't be more proud of you. The singers and dancers, performers, writers, tutors, athletes, and friends you all are. The kind, respectful, smart, loyal, and warm-hearted young adults that I've come to love. It's fulfilling to reflect back and think that I, perhaps, played some small role in helping you all achieve the successes that we can boast about today. I hope I helped mold you into the people that you are. And as our experiences and time together come to a close, we are all off in our own directions. Some to boarding schools like Taft, Brooks, the Hun School, Lawrenceville, Pennington, and Purnell, and others to local day schools like Newark Academy, Mount St. Dominic, Montclair Kimberly, and Morristown Beard. I, as well, will return to academia at Columbia University in the fall. We entered together, and now we will leave together, but forever holding one another and St. Philip's in our hearts. Being here, experiencing the challenges and joys of middle school together has given all of us, even me, the foundations for becoming great scholars, teachers, leaders, and people. And in that continual growth, we have had to make many difficult decisions and choices, especially this year as 8th graders. And although I've been witness to many of your difficult choices throughout our time together, after 3 years with you, I think I'm finally ready to share with you some of mine. You see, I'm a high school dropout. I'm the oldest of 3 children to a single mother in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I certainly had very difficult decisions to face in my life. In June of my 16th year, not much older than you all are now, I had an important decision to make. A decision that rested on my shoulders alone. I had to decide. Do I stay with my mother in a neglectful and unhealthy situation, the reason for which my downward teenage spiral had begun? Do I ever go back to school? I had missed more than 100 days of 10th grade. I was planning on getting my GED. Should I stay with my mother despite her mistakes? She did always love me. What about my 2-year-old sister, my 12-year-old brother? And as I reflect back now, I realize there only ever was one choice. So in the summer of 1999, I decided that if the situation couldn't change, then I'd have to change. I moved to Western New York, 8 hours away, to live with my godparents. I went back to high school, graduated, applied to one lone state university, was thankfully accepted, and ultimately chose to go into education. Why? Because if there's anyone with the ability to influence a child's life in a positive way besides their parents, it's teachers. I stand before you today with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, having graduated with a 4.0, awarded the graduate assistantship to the Dean of the College of Education, and several scholarships. I have surpassed my mother's education by 3 degrees. She never made it past the graduation that we're here at today. If I hadn't chosen what was best for me, if I hadn't had the courage to do what felt so uncomfortable and leave my mother and family, I can assure you that I would not be standing here in front of you today. I would not have had the privilege of knowing and working with all of you. I would not have learned the lesson that love truly is the basis of state. That the stable, nurturing, caring environment my godparents could provide me with was what truly brought out the best in me, even though we do see the Philly every once in a while. In closing, I share my story with you as you go forth into your futures today for several reasons. 1, to help you remember that it's not always what's most comfortable for you that is necessarily going to be what's best for you. To show you that people are not always who they seem to be. Give people a chance. Hear their stories. Save your judgments and have an open heart. To encourage you to have the courage to do what you know is right, not follow the crowd or go with the majority, but truly listen to your hearts and your intuition. And to hopefully inspire you to show you that anything is possible, even when the odds seem stacked against us. And lastly, because I really wish I would have shared it with you before. So many of you already possess these qualities. So many of you remind me of myself. You have the courage it takes to stand up for what you know is right. You've made the choice to extend your comfort zone, and although you will be leaving loving families, for some of you, you'll live hours away from home for the next 4 years. We've all had to make difficult decisions in leaving St. Philip's this year, and we will undoubtedly be faced with more as we continue into the future. But you will persevere, and for these qualities, along with many others I have witnessed over the last 3 years, I am proud of you. So very proud. Thank you.